Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to bake macarons, and I'm going to show you the difference between baking in a fan oven compared to baking in a conventional oven. So the ingredients you will need are 150 grams of powdered sugar or icing sugar, 150 grams of almond flour or ground almonds, 150 grams of caster sugar, 120 grams of egg whites, and it's best to use egg whites that you've cracked open, put in a bowl, covered with cling film and left in the fridge for 2 days, and 50 ml of water. So first off, if you put your egg whites into the stand mixer, if you haven't got a stand mixer, you could use a handheld mixer, and then you would need to put the water in the pan. Bring it to boil with the caster sugar, and if you get a thermometer, a food thermometer, or I'm using this gun thermometer, we need to get the temperature to be 115 degrees Celsius. So just keep stirring it. Make sure the stand mixer is just on a slow speed while you're doing this. And you could also add a pinch of salt to the egg whites in the stand mixer as well. It doesn't take long, so just be careful because you don't want a caramel. So it's just gone up to 117, so I'm taking it off straight away now. And you need to pour it into the bowl, down the side of the bowl, to prevent splashes because it is very hot. And it also cools slightly as well before it gets into the egg whites. And once you've poured all of it into the bowl, you can then increase the speed on the stand mixer to full speed. So it's almost solid. I hope it hasn't gone too far with the whisking. So we need to add the ground almonds into the mix. So I'm just going to sieve this icing sugar into the ground almonds. Ground almonds together with the icing sugar or powdered sugar is called taunt bataunt. This is our taunt bataunt. You can see how fine that looks. So if we add about a third of it into the bowl, and then if we just mix it into the meringue, what we want to do is knock some of this air out. So we're not really worried about keeping the air in, we're worried about knocking the air out. So we can add the rest of it now. So it needs to flow off the spoon like lava if it's done right. And it's not flowing off the spatula yet, it's just dropping. So this is lemon yellow, and I'm just going to use a toothpick and just mix it into the mixture. I'm going to do it 2 toothpicks full. You should get a nice lemon colour. Right, so that's the right consistency. So we now need to put it in a piping bag. So it's much smaller than some of them you can get. So this is just so that you can control your piping better. So I'm putting that in the piping bag. I'm just going to put the end off. So the nozzle needs to peep through the piping bag. Then you put your hand in, twist it, and then push it into the nozzle, and that stops the mixture from seeping out the bottom. Then if you get a jug, or you can use a mug to stand the piping bag in, and then you want to just fold it over the top of the mug or the piping bag. Then make a well in the centre for the filling. So then we can lift the bag up, nip it at the top with your thumb and your first finger, pull the nozzle out, and then if you twist it, keep your thumb tightly on the bag, and then until the mixture starts to come to the top. You can't actually sit it in your hand, so to pipe it, that thumb needs to be tight on the bag, and you can sit it in your hand like that. So make sure you've got the ink downwards, because we don't want any ink getting on the macarons. And then just going to dot, 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 dot. So we haven't got any gaps, and it keeps the paper flat against the tray. We don't want the paper rising. Make sure you cut your paper exactly so it fits the tray, because any bits flapping about can spoil the heat to your macaron mixture. Top. And the way we pipe is you pipe vertically, so straight up and down like that, and then you pipe for a second or less than a second until it fills the outer rim of the template, and then you stop piping, and then you twist. So push, stop, twist, push, stop, twist, like that. So here we go. Push, stop, twist. Oh, a bit more fell out. Push, stop, twist. 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 Then what you need to do is you need to bang it on the table. Until they're spread out. So you can see they're not all exactly the same size, but your first tray is normally your worst tray, because it takes a bit of time getting into the flow of things. If it's a complete disaster when you do the first batch, just start on again with your second batch. And these need to stay to air dry for 45 minutes before they go in the oven. So after leaving these for 45 minutes, you can then bake them. I'm going to try it 2 different ways today. I'm going to try it with the fan oven set at 135 degrees Celsius, and that's going to be for about 20 minutes. And then once I've tried that out, I'm going to use conventional oven without the fan, 155 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm going to try the fan oven first. So these were cooked in the fan oven for 20 minutes. I left them in for. You're not really supposed to take them off the paper until they've actually cooled down. So these have had a chance to cool down now, so we can have a look at the shells. So if we just carefully lift the paper up and then peel it off. So you can see it is cooked on the bottom, and you can see it has got feet. You can see the feet there. And so you can cook them in a fan oven, but you would need to lower the temperature to 135 degrees. Although the feet, it's not a very deep foot, but it still has a foot. So if you put 2 of them together, like so, and the tops are nice and smooth and shiny, you can see, although they are a little bit speckledy because of the ground almonds, but that's expected. So, perfect macarons. So we're just waiting for the ones that are in the conventional oven to come out. So with the conventional oven, you can only bake 1 tray at a time. So these are the ones that were in the conventional oven temperature without the fan, and this is the fan temperature. So if we take one of these macarons, this is the one in the conventional oven, and you can see the feet along the sides, beautiful. And if we take one of the macarons that were in the fan oven, you can see the difference. So the fan oven, you get less definition of the feet, or you get feet, but they're not as deep as the one in the conventional oven. So I've been filling these with the yellow jelly. I put it in a piping bag with a small nozzle on the end. So I'm just starting in the middle and just going around like this, just to try and get it even. Finding another lid that's about the same size, and then squashing them together like that. Gorgeous. There are other fillings you could put inside if you don't want to do the lemon jelly. You could put some buttercream in, or you could use some white chocolate ganache. There's lots of different flavours you can use to fill your macarons. You could make a coulis of some sort, and so you could, this is white chocolate ganache I'm using here to fill this macaron with. I also added 1 leaf of gelatin to that, just to make sure it was thick enough to hold its shape. So here we are with these gorgeous macarons. I have taken a bite out of one of them, and they are delicious. So thank you for watching. Until the next video, bye for now.